Hello, my name is Colette Hairston Hash, and I am running for the Robeson District seat on the Board of Supervisors. I have also with me my husband, Gary Hash, who is a great supporter of me. I have lived here in this county for 41 years. I grew up in Christiansburg, had a great life there, but I have learned a lot since I have been in Pulaski County. We have raised our 4 sons here. They all have, but one, have moved back and they're raising their families here. My 2 sons, they both have wives. Their names are Megan. They also have 4 grandchildren. We are truly, truly blessed by that. They both have a son and a daughter. They all go to Pulaski County schools. Our youngest grandson just started kindergarten, and he thinks it's the best thing ever. And his sister attends the same school, and it's cute when you pick them up. They are holding hands. She wants to make for sure he gets to the right place at the right time. We've had success with our children. They have learned a lot. They were prosperous by going to Pulaski County schools. And so we're great supporters of the school system here. My desire to run for the Robeson District, I want to see our community come together and to grow. I know we have a large agricultural department here in our area. We have lots of technical jobs here in Pulaski County. And I want to see ways in which we can bring those 2 areas together. It's amazing. I've been studying some on Pulaski County and the farmer community, and it's amazing some of the things that I have learned. I had no idea that the acreage that was involved in our farmers here in Pulaski County. It's amazing. And you know, when I was growing up, I was part of the 4-H, and it was so cool because I got into this project where we had to raise a particular animal or something while we were in 4-H. So I chose to do a cow, and I thought that was the greatest thing. So my dad bought a cow and we started to raise it, but then all of a sudden we decided, well, we're going to the stock market, and we began to buy more cattle and more cattle and more cattle. And so we were able to raise a lot of cattle, and you know, of course, you know what we do with cattle once they have reached that certain age, because we didn't have any other reason to have them. And then next door to us was a dairy farm. My cousins, when they would come into town, they thought that was the greatest thing. We would go over there and watch the cows being milked and all of that. And when you live in the city and you don't have that opportunity to visit or to go to zoos or to be able to truly pet animals, it's amazing. And I think here in our community, we do such a great job at showing some of the areas that we have here. But there is a time where we need to make for sure some of our children that are in the area, what can we do to help them to maybe to get to where some of the farmers live, to see what farmers do. We can't afford to do without them. We need them to be able to have large gardens, large cattle farms, the milk community. We have to have farmers. And so we have a great friend who lives in California. And of course there, they have very little farmland. So he has taken a portion of land, and that's what he has done. He has allowed children to come from the city. They go to his land. They help them to raise cattle. They have pigs. They have some, what is the tall thing other than the ostrich? They have that.
Emus.
Yes, emus. And they also have gardens. They learn how to plant seeds and grow gardens and tend to them. And it's amazing. I think sometimes we forget about what people would really like to do to expand their life. And when you see a child who has never been close to cattle or horses or anything, my nephew just got married this past weekend, and it was an outdoor wedding. And right next to it was a farm, and they had horses, and it was amazing. My grandchildren went up to the horses. They were feeding them and trying to take care of them. They were patting them. It was just amazing. And I think that's one thing that would really help our community to be able to draw us together. I am a great opponent of drawing us together. That is one of my main things I want to see happen. I want to see the agriculture, the technical sections of our community, and those that are retired. We have a lot of retired people in our community? What are we doing to enhance their lives? We need to consider all components of our county. We can't afford to just lock in on one. We've got to be able to expand ourselves so that we can include all of our community. You know, everyone is talking about the 40-30. Well, in order to get to 40,000 people, we're going to have to do things to draw people into our community. And actually, we have enough to draw them in, but we need to enhance what we already have. We need to enhance our community as far as housing to make sure that it's affordable for all people. We need to continue to promote our school system because we really do have a good school system. I was involved in a project called Start Strong. And our idea of that was to allow kindergarten teachers to have a para. Because can you imagine trying to teach ABCs to children? Some of them may have been in preschool before and some may not have been. To teach them, but at the same time, you're tying shoes, you're wiping their noses, and you take away from them time for them to learn. And so the Start Smart program really would enhance our kindergarten teachers. You know, their most informative years is from 0 to 5. So when they enter kindergarten, they need to be ready to start and to go with what they're doing. Our school system needs our support. You know, 2 out of every 5 children in our area, they read proficiently. So what happens to the other 3? What are we doing to help them? What are we doing to help parents be able to help their children? And so my thinking, when I talk about bringing community together, if we can start with the Board of Supervisors, the school board, and the town council, come together. We can't afford to divide our community. We must bring our community together. And when those 3 entities are separate, we don't grow as quickly as we can. But if we can come together and decide on some things, we're not going to always agree because people are different. People see things differently. But if I can take an aspect from this person here and blend it with what I'm doing, perhaps we can come up with a solution that causes our community to grow. I believe that in order to do that, you got to work. I told my mom one time, I said, "Mom, why did you and Daddy teach us to work so hard?" I said, "I would like to be like other people sometime that just sit down and just decide to rest." But fortunately, I have learned to work hard. I have learned to, in my career, I was retired from the public defender office. I was there for over 20 years. I learned a lot, learned how to deal with different people, learned how to work with different types of people. But you know, in order to do that, you've got to learn to work. Work is a wonderful thing. The W-O-R-K is not a curse word, it's a good word. And of course, there's a lot that I would have to learn. I haven't been in that area of making those decisions like that the Board of Supervisors make, but I'm willing to learn. Some things about me that you would want to know is that I'm honest, I'm truthful, I ask questions, and I want to know what's going on behind the scenes. And in order to know that, you got to truly be involved and you've got to work. You know, our community deserves to have someone that will look into situations, talk to people, find out how people feel. You know, I'm not afraid to walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, how are you doing today? What is it that I can do for you if I'm elected to Board of Supervisors? What is one of your concerns?" And in order to be able to do that, you've got to be willing to go out and reach out to the people. Our main consideration for what we do are people. I think sometimes in the political world, we forget about that person that's in the middle. And once we regain our sense of the people that we're serving, we will work even harder to make for sure that they have a quality life. I know that there are people that are concerned about things that are going on. They're concerned about the drug community, what's happening with them, you know, but I have found if we can provide some information and some work that they can possibly do, educate them, it's amazing how we can help to turn people's lives around. I think we're willing sometimes just to let them sit on the side. But when I think about children going back to those homes, I'm like, how can our children prosper in life if this group here is continuing to live the lifestyle that they live? And I think that we have the ability to help them change. You know, when we did the smart community efforts and our conversational efforts, we found that we had a lot of parents that did not go to the school system or be able to help their child. And so we found out one of the biggest reasons was they could not read. And we began projects of really putting books in people's hands, not only just for them, but for them to be able to read to their child. And if they couldn't read, we know people who were able to help them to learn how to read. That's important for us. We've got to begin to go out into the community and work with people and see where their lives truly are. I was allowed to go to a workshop that we did in Williamsburg, and I did an exercise with them, and I said, you know, we assume that parents know what they're doing. We assume that parents know all the things that they need to know. But I said, imagine yourself in the classroom and you're talking to 2 or 3 of your teachers. Say your child may have special needs, and they start rattling off all these acronyms. You know, they may go CTR, DRT, ASA, you know, just crazy stuff. And you as a parent, you have no idea what those acronyms even stand for. So then you take a seat back because you feel inferior. But what would happen if we were able to educate the parents, get the parents involved in their child's life? I want to see that happen for Pulaski County. I was amazed when I found some of the information that I found out about it. But in order to help people, we've got to go to where the people live. It's easy to stay in your office or talk to people by telephone. You know, everybody's doing text messages, you know, you're doing the messenger. But what happens when you put a face on what you're doing? When people see you in the community, they ought to be able to recognize who you are. And they ought to be able to, not all the time can they necessarily come and say something to you, but if you're there, why can't we greet people and say, how are you doing? Is there something better that I can do for you? How are we serving your community? If you give me ideas, I'm telling you, I will work on those ideas. I will work on your concerns, because I understand that in order for us to move forward, in order for us to have the 40,000 that we want by 2030, we're going to have to understand what we already have so that we'll know where we need to go. We need to know where our lacks are. We need to know where our pluses are. Pulaski County is a wide open area. Our church is in Fairlawn, and Fairlawn is growing up. I want to see it grow up even more. Where we live, because it's a retirement more so area, it's funny when I say that because I'm now over 60 years old. So I'm part of that community. But we have probably less children, but we still need to look at that. It's amazing. I wake up in the mornings and I hear that bus at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I remember that's the same bus that my children used to ride. And so now they have children here. What can I do to make for sure that our school board has everything that they need? Because I know that the Board of Supervisors plays a big part in our schools and what our schools are doing. And once we can get, all of us get on the same page, we can begin to work. You know, a lot of people find out, or they talk to people and they have different opinion. But you know, diversity should not cause us to have adversity. What diversity can do is bring different perspectives into a scenario, and then we find out what is a healthy solution to all of that. I want you to know that if I'm working on the Board of Supervisors, I'm going to do just that. I know there's things that I need to learn. I know that there's code sections. I hear it all the time in the meetings. Code sections, conversations that people have, projects that are going on. And in order to do that, I'm willing to work. I find myself, I believe that I am friendly. My husband would agree with that. I'm friendly. I like people. And I'm willing to talk to people to find out what it is that's on their heart to what they want to see changed in Pulaski County. Pulaski County is a beautiful place to live. I want to represent Robeson District on the Board of Supervisors. I believe that I will do a good job for them. I've thought about this for years. I've known several members on the Board of Supervisors. I know several members on the school board. I know people on the town council. So I believe that I have a working relationship with people that I can work with all of those groups so that we can come out and make Pulaski County the best that it can be. I want to see our areas grow. I want to make for sure we have affordable housing for our people. We have educational opportunities for people. We have technical jobs for people. We have the ability to send our children from high school to New River Community College or Withville Community College, and then later go on to a 4-year school. And then as we begin to grow Pulaski County, our children will come back and they'll want to raise their families here. That was one thing that my 2 sons said when they started having children, because one of my sons lived in Radford. He said, I want them to go to school in Pulaski County. And so my grandchildren find it very interesting that some of the teachers that they have also taught my sons. But they were willing to bring them back to Pulaski County because they saw that there was an ability to enhance their family. And when we can get our children to understand that we have opportunities here, they will come back. But we have to have opportunities. We have to make for sure that some of our larger hiring parts like Volvo, James Hardy, Phoenix, that we're able to give them what they need so that our people can have quality jobs. There's some of the high-paying jobs in our area, and we need to promote that because as we do, people will come back. People will find us on the map. People will say, hey, Pulaski County is a great place to live. You can either live close to the water, you can live in town, you can live in the county like we do. It's just so many things that are available to us. But in order for us to do that, we got to promote Pulaski County. I think that I would be great in doing that. With our community at our church, we've learned how to work with all types of people. Our church is very diverse, so it gives you an ability to be able to communicate with different types of people. You learn how to help people through tough times. I'm not saying that Pulaski County, we always want to bring out all the great things. Yeah, we have some things that we don't like about the county, but you know what? In order to change it, we got to work together, we got to work hard and put forth the effort. So I am asking you to cast your vote for me on November the 8th. As a matter of fact, I think I have worked the polls for so many years. I can remember the poll books that we used to have to use where we had to flip through the pages to find people's names. And so this will be the first time probably in about 30 years that I have not worked the polls. That's very different for me. But if you will come out on November the 8th and vote for me, I promise you in the Robeson District, we may not always agree, but I'm sure we can come to a healthy solution. But I will ask questions. I will have conversations with people. I'm not scared of anyone. Trust me, I'm not scared of anyone. I'm willing to ask a question. And then I'm willing to hold people's feet to the fire. If you say you're going to do this, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to make it happen. I'm willing to listen to people, talk to people, find out what some of their greatest concerns are, because I want to see us come together. I don't want to see us to continue to divide, but I want to see us come together. And sometimes it may take some new people bringing in their ideas and their ability to work with others so that they can do just that. Bring our community together. We're going to bring all types of families together, and it's wonderful. But we've got to be willing to investigate and do things that are necessary to bring us all together. So I'm running for the Robeson District seat on the Board of Supervisors. I ask that you would consider voting for me, and I hope once you see more information about me that you'll see that I'm a person that is willing to work for you. I'm willing to do whatever is necessary to help you find out the information that you want. So please consider voting for me, and I look forward to seeing you on November the 8th because I will be at the polls working. Thank you so much.